Hey, Crypto Growth fam, how's it going? This is your host Shazib signing in. How Casper Network CSPR is optimized for ISO 20022 standard. This is the question we're going to be unpacking in this video. So make sure to stay tuned and watch till the end because this is an interesting video. You'll surely going to like it. And guys, for those of you who are new to the channel, we primarily discuss utility coins of all kinds. So this is a rough map in what we discuss in terms of what you're going to be getting in this channel. And we discuss more potential gems as well if needed. So if you're interested in any of these or any of this stuff, then make sure to stay tuned and subscribe for regular videos. So folks, without further ado, let us head out and look at the price of Casper of CSPR in at the time of this recording. So one CSPR is priced at around $0.03067 at this time with a market cap of almost $350 million. Yeah, guys, if you look at the chart, Casper Network is trying to test this range over here, the range of late 2022. Almost, yeah, November 2022. So it is testing this price range over here. There's a support over here as well in this range. So let us see what it does. And in my opinion, guys, this is an extremely great entry point because, guys, in my opinion, we're at the bottom of Casper Network for what it is primed to do. This is peanuts at the moment. The price is peanuts for what it is capable over the next 5 years or decades, because this is a long-term hold in my opinion. This is here to stay, guys. So as you guys can see, it is almost at its all-time lows over here, only 36% above its all-time low. So do your own due diligence and research, but in my opinion, this is a good entry point. This range is good. It might come down, but if it doesn't, then this is a good range. It might test this price over here and reverse back up. So let's see what happens. So guys, before we head on and discuss the standards of ISO 20022 and how CSPR is optimized for them, I'm going to be skimming at what is ISO 20022. Basically, ISO 20022 is a financial message system that is primed to be turned on in November 2025. Banks and financial institutions, market infrastructures are going to be using this standard. It is basically a messaging standard for payments, for remittances, and all that sort. So check this out. All banks must be ready to support the new language standard to continue processing payments, and customers should also prepare for changes. The ISO 20022 standard supports the inclusion of richer, better structured transaction data in payments messages and aims to deliver a better customer experience by enabling less manual intervention, more accurate compliance processes, higher resilience, and improved fraud prevention measures. So, guys, uh, those coins that would be optimized for ISO 20022 would have these privileges, guys. They would have better customer experience. They are going to be integrated with the financial system more easily because they can access financial institutions that are complying with these standards come 2025 and beyond, because I think Swift already is live. Yeah, here it is, Swift. We're going to check this out as well. So what are the benefits of ISO 20022? ISO 20022 adoption will provide benefits to the entire payments ecosystem, that is banks, market infrastructures, and to the bank's customers. Rich structured party data and increased field size will provide great levels of transparency and create efficiencies by reducing delays caused due to unstructured, incomplete, or inconsistent data. By adopting dedicated returns and investigation messages and using standardized return codes, the current delays in applying returned funds back to the customers and responding to inquiries from other banks will be drastically reduced. By maintaining dedicated reference fields that remain unaltered in the end-to-end payment journey and introducing structured remittance data, customers' reconciliation capabilities will be augmented. Augmented means increased. Greater message harmonization across the entire payments industry with a universal message type for all payments will help integrate with many more schemes on a faster basis. What are the timelines for migrating to ISO 20022 standards in different markets? So this is the roadmap, adoption date, scheme currency, the ones that are live, SWIFT, cross-border payments reporting, CBPR plus coexistence 1 period until November 2025. Euro Target 2, Euro 1, International Euro Payments, USD Fed, CHIPS, Phase 1, GBP, CHAPS, April 2024, USD CHIPS, full ISO, adoption 22 April 2024, HKD Hong Kong, CHATS, March 2025, USD Fed, full ISO adoption, November 2025, all PMIs of all major currencies to have adopted ISO 20022 standard for cross-border payments. So guys, this is basically a messaging standard, an optimized, enhanced messaging structure basically that is the requirement of the times, and many or all financial institutions are going to be using these standards for future communication amongst each other and amongst the stakeholders. So guys, where does CSPR come to play in this entire infrastructure? I found a rather interesting tweet over here. Shout out to Tokenizer. When you think ISO 20022, you think XRP, XDC, QNT, XLM, ALGO, and a small handful of others, but 99% don't think of CSPR. So, today I'll show you why and how Caspers fit for the standards in the future of finance. So, let us begin. The first misconception to clarify is the state of ISO 20022 itself. The standard itself is nothing more than a financial data standard for legacy systems. So, legacy systems are the traditional financial systems. So, according to Tokenizer, the standard itself, the ISO 20022 standard itself, is nothing more than a financial data standard for legacy system. So this is just a data standard of communication and exchanging messages with each other. ISO 20022 enables efficient payments, clearing, and settlement among financial institutions globally through the use of a common set of messages and languages. I'm going to add one thing on here. When the legacy systems are going to be using these standards, then the clients need to come up with a sort of similar mechanism or similar structure to deal with those financial institutions. So this is why I think the ISO standard is important for the cryptocurrencies and coins to basically integrate or communicate with these institutions for mass adoption, guys. So it is important. The standard itself was developed all the way back in 2004 by ISO TC68 Financial Services. Now that we have some history on ISO 20022, we can look further at CSPR. Guys, let us check ISO TC68. This is ISO TC68, Financial Services Technical Committee 68 is responsible for creating global standards for the financial services industry. TC68 is responsible for standards that cover core banking, capital markets, including asset management, payments, credit card processing, and information security aspects specific to financial services, guys. So let us continue. When we look at Casper network itself, they seem like quite a multi-purposed blockchain from IPs, supply chain, government, smart cities, and even luxury spirits within their diversified array of industry-purposed applications. There are two specific to words: finance, Ariadne and Nucleus. So check this out. Let us zoom in. Nucleus Finance. joint venture partners, Ariadne, business analytics. Ariadne provides next generation solutions for the financial sector. Ariadne fills an important gap in the supply landscape for system support for existing banks and new financial service providers. The systems for core banking services, SolidX, decentralized financial platforms, and for risk and finance analytics and analytics are all based on a smart financial contract concept based on the ACTA standard. So this is Casper Labs. Casper Labs, a leading blockchain company for the enterprise market, is reimagining blockchain for enterprise with a future-proof solution. So this is Ariadne Business Analytic. Check this out. About Ariadne Business Analytics AG, our core offering are standardized, smart, and self-executable financial contracts for all types of financial products used in the financial world. Yes. This is Actus Financial Research Foundation, organizations in cooperation with ISO. We're going to be coming and checking this out in a moment. Let us continue. Yes, so yeah, both of which works with Actus. Actus is a group that aims to create a global standard for consistent representation of financial instruments. In other words, financial data standards. And guys, Actus is basically, you guys can see, this is cooperation. Actus is cooperating with ISO standard or ISO itself. You guys can see that it is listed in the category of license 1. We're going to be coming and checking this out as well. Category A. So yeah, let us move ahead. Actus is a group that aims to create a global standard for consistent representation of financial instruments, in other words, financial data standards. The CSPR network allows users to tokenize digital securities within the broadly accepted Actus network, like Ariadne and Nucleus have done, which governs more than 98% of all financial contracts. So it is clear that Actus is already quite an established name in the financial world. But how established exactly? So guys, this is the page that I opened just now. Well, here we can actually see Actus is directly listed as an organization in cooperation with ISO, and they even have a category A license together. In ISO standard license, there are categories A and B. A. Organizations contributing effectively to a technical committee or subcommittee on specific topics to gain access to relevant documents, meeting invitations, and the ability to nominate experts for participation in a working group. B. Organizations wishing to stay updated on the technical committee or subcommittee's work receive access to reports on their activities. So Actus is actively contributing to ISO TC 68 SC9. This is the subgroup under TC 768 for information exchange of financial services. So this is the standard for the exchange of financial services. Given Actus operating to find standards fit for financial contracts, this would make sense. Now, when you pair this together with the fact that TC68 is the governing and founding body behind ISO 20022, it only makes sense that Actus, a financial data standards body that also happens to have a liaison with the founder of ISO 20022, would also have the standard architecture complying to ISO 20022 as well. So, of course, in return, meaning that their collaborations with CSPR running on Actus standards would also work in harmony with the data information exchange of TC68, which again is really just an extension of ISO 20022. So, guys, TC68 is and these standards are merely an extension of ISO 20022. So, basically, we are linking this with CSPR in a way that if CSPR is collaborating with the one that is having that architecture, that standard that is complying with ISO 20022, then CSPR by default is also complying and is standardized and optimized for ISO 20022 standards. ISO 20022 equals Financial Data Messaging Standard. TC68 SG9 equals info exchange of financial services. But if that wasn't enough, let's just look directly at ISO 20022 itself. He's got these good apples, green and red one. As we can see, not only is Actus listed on 3 sections of ISO 20022 working groups, guys, this is, we cannot see it clearly, but yes, you guys can see the green ones. We can see not only is Actus listed on 3 sections of ISO 20022's working groups, Actus, 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 yeah, yes, check this out. This is Actus Financial Research Foundation, and this is Ariadne as well, Actus member entity. But we can see, but we can even see CSPR built Ariadne listed in each of these under the organization Actus. Left, Registration Management Group, RMG for ISO 20022. The RMG is the highest ISO 20022 registration body. It supervises the overall registration process and reports to ISO TC68 and SC9. Center, Technical Support Group for ISO 20022. The ISO 20022 TSG is made of recognized experts in the technical implementation of the ISO 20022 standard. The TSG may also be called upon by the RMG to offer advice on an issue relating to the implementation of the ISO 20022 standard. Right, the securities SEG for ISO 20022 for supporting the standard in securities. These can include equities, fixed incomes, and funds. Finally, let's put it all together. Ariadne and Nucleus equals finance DApps with a CSPR. Nucleus Finance is built with CSPR and Ariadne, and CSPR and its finance DApps work with Actus. So basically, the one that is has the architecture of the structure of ISO 20022. CSPR and its finance apps, DApps are working with it. Actus is a financial contract standard. Actus has a liaison A for ISO TC68 SG9. SG9 is Info Exchange of Financial Services. Ariadne, Nucleus, S contracts for finance data. Ariadne and Actus are ISO group members. This would in return not only mean that they are building out Nucleus with a standardized approach given their roles in ISO 20022. Don't forget the liaison for SG9 with Actus is pretty much just data transfer and exchange of ISO 20022 messages. Anyways, info exchange of financial data. Well, ISO 20022 is a standard for financial data. So Actus and CSPR finance applications aren't just working to fit ISO 20022, but they're working to have information exchange in an ISO 20022 manner. So yes, this is a technical point that basically they're going to be having that architecture because enterprise and financial institutions would be exchanging information in that standard. So it is obvious that CSPR working with so much enterprises and optimized for enterprises, the blockchain has to meet those standards obviously by default. The road that CSPR has taken into financial exposure in their ecosystem is quite an interesting one. Rather than partnering with a bunch of banks like we've seen, they decided to go to the foundations that let these banks work at scale. And that is, of course, the underlying standards that ties modern finance together. So guys, this was an extremely good read. Shout out to Tokenizer. He works extremely hard for all these the utility coins, the for DLTs, for enterprise coins, for coins such as XDC network. We constantly discuss XDC for CSPR. All these great coins that are the future of crypto, that are taking crypto towards that mass adoption, that utility phase where they're going to be utilized and have in real time and have use cases in the real world. So guys, CSPR, it is I think obvious that CSPR working with such enterprises and so many great institutions and companies by default would have to meet these standards, these regulatory standards, as well as the financial exchange standards, information exchange standards to maneuver and to operate and execute what they're doing. So this isn't surprising for me. This wasn't that when if it was going to happen, this is when it is going to happen, when it is integrated into all these standards, these messaging standards such as ISO 20022. And this information over here has confirmed that CSPR Casper network is well optimized for these standards, the ISO 20022 standards and the financial messaging standards of the new financial system. So guys, I wanted to bring this in your knowledge and make you aware. So guys, this was it for this video. If you like this video, then make sure to share, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for obviously notifications for my next videos as well. So and if you're interested in these coins as well, then make sure to subscribe the channel as well, as we discuss them regularly, as well as other potential gems. And guys, in the end, as I always say, until next time, stay tuned and stay blessed. Thank you, folks.